So welcome to our final 12 days of Christmas. How quickly has that gone by? Hope you've enjoyed the series so far. And we're going to finish almost where we began, because for Dart 12 is 12 Quarrymen. So from the Quarrymen, you've got obviously the founder member, John Lennon. He forms the group initially with Pete Shotton, who played washboard, and Bill Smith, who's the first tea-chest bass player. They soon invite Eric Griffiths to join them on guitar. And of course, Eric and John learn to play the guitar from Julia Lennon, who teaches them banjo chords. Rod Davis walks into school one Monday morning and says, I bought a banjo yesterday. And they said, right, you're in the group. Didn't know how to play it, but he was in the group because he had the instrument. So already we're up to the first 5 of the Quarrymen. Now, Bill didn't stick around for long. He was then replaced sometimes by Ivan Vaughan, because Ivan introduces Paul to John. Sometimes by Nigel Walley. Nigel doesn't really play it that often. He becomes the Quarrymen's manager. So again, very important person. After Nigel, they then invite one of Ivan's other school friends, GARRY. He comes in, Len takes over on tea-chest bass. So we've got sort of going into 1957, a settled lineup, because they've added on drums Colin Hanton. So you've got John, Pete, Eric, Rod, Len, Colin, as sort of your established Quarrymen. Of course, the day John meets Paul, 6th of July 1957, it's not long before Paul McCartney is invited to join, and he very quickly becomes a member of the Quarrymen. Within a couple of months, Paul realises he's not a lead guitarist, but he knows a lad who is, George Harrison. Paul brings George, introduces him to John, and by the end of 1957, you've got John, Paul and George together in the group. By this time, Rod's left, Eric's been replaced by George, Pete's left, don't need a washboard, GARRY's out on tea-chest. So going into 1958, you've got John, Paul and George and Colin. Now, in 58, one of Paul's school friends, John Duff, LOWE, he joins and plays with them occasionally on piano. And of course, the most important date then is the 12th of July 1958, the day they make their first record. In Spite of All the Danger, credited to McCartney Harrison. And that'll be the day by Buddy Holly. And that is those 5 Quarrymen playing there. So we've got 12 Quarrymen by the time we get to July 1958. So that's within 2 years of starting. Now, they change other names, as we've mentioned in one of the earlier ones. And there is one last little incarnation of the Quarrymen in 59 when Ken Brown joins. But really, this core of the Quarrymen that gets from the start in the summer of 56 through 1958 and into the beginning of 59 is those 12 Quarrymen members. So we've got to the end, but as a musical treat, I'm not just going to rattle them off. No, you've often seen the tops of my guitars on the wall behind me, so I've grabbed one. And let's sing together our Beatles 12 Days of Christmas. On the 12th day of Christmas, the Beatles gave to me 12 Quarrymen, 11 backed singers, 10 group names, 9 beat makers, 8 drummers drumming, 7 Ringo's helpers, 6 black roots, 5 parents bring, 4 fab, 4 3-bassmen, 2 harmonica, and a young man called George Lee. Have a happy Christmas. We'll join you in 2023. There's so much more to tell you on Bright Moon Liverpool. See you next year.